Before we go on, there's just time to mention that our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Prilly, Fernand Bouillon, and Harry Breur. It's performed by Jean-Jacques Perret, who has kindly given his permission for us to use it. And now here's Yvonne with the sport.
Boxing brothers Chris and Andreas Evangelou will both be hoping to secure places in their first title fights when they make their return to the ring on Saturday. The duo from Enfield are in action in Bethnal Green's York Hall, knowing that Victory will give them a shot at an international masters title in September. Undefeated light heavyweight Andreas is taking on Latvia's Rikārds Bolotniks in a sixth-round contest, while Chris, who has had a late change of opponent, is fighting at welterweight for the first time after deciding to move up a weight. Meanwhile, Frank Baglioni will be hoping to return to winning ways when he takes to the ring at the same venue on Wednesday night. The super middleweight from Winchmore Hill has not fought since his unbeaten record came to an end with a shock six-round stoppage at the hands of Sergei Komitsky when he was attempting to make the second defence of his European title in April. The Southern Area title will be at stake when Bologna faces Sam Cousins, and the 25-year-old is confident that he will make a successful return to action.
David Strettle firmly believes that Saracens will be able to put their disappointments of last season behind them by going on to enjoy a successful campaign next time around. Sarries proved to be the dominant force in the Aviva Premiership as they ended the regular campaign 9 points clear at the top of the table. However, they were unable to translate this into silverware as they suffered an agonising last-gasp defeat at the hands of Northampton in the Premiership final, just a week after losing to Toulon in the Heineken Cup final. Following their summer break, the Saracens squad have now started pre-season training, and winger Strettle is positive about their prospects. "It's good to be back and to blow a few cobwebs away," he said. "Obviously, the way the season ended was a disappointment, but when you look at the season as a whole, we made real progress." Saracens will begin their Aviva Premiership campaign by taking on Wasps at Twickenham on September the 6th. Saracens then visit Harlequins on September the 12th and face a further away match at London Irish on September the 20th, before their first clash at Allianz Park sees them hosting Sale on September the 27th. The sheer scale of Enfield Ignation's Big Day Out project, which proved a big hit at Allianz Park in March, has been recognised by Middlesex at the Community Rugby Volunteer Appreciation Awards. The Enfield Club put forward nominations in 3 categories and came up trumps after being deemed the Middlesex club, which made them the most significant progress in increasing their club volunteers during the season.
Southgate's good run of form continued on Saturday as they edged to a 2-wicket win at home to Harrow to climb up to 4th place in Division 2 of the Middlesex County Cricket League. A good performance with the ball by hosts saw Harrow struggle before an excellent lower order recovery enabled them to post a total of 219 for 8. A fine opening partnership between Michael Stevens and Tom Edrich put Southgate well on the track for victory, and they eventually made it to 221 for 8 with 5 balls to spare. Southgate entertained Harrow St Mary's on Saturday. More than 120 children were in attendance at the Walker Ground on Sunday as Southgate Adelaide hosted the annual John Morris Cup. The Cup, which was the brainchild of the late John Morris, former chairman of the Southgate Adelaide and head of the Borough of Enfield development side, is now in its 4th year and has become an integral part of the cricketing calendar. Holt White's Trinabais, Cockfosters, Southgate Compton and the hosts all entered numerous teams into the 6-a-side tournament, with Holt Whites emerging triumphant at the under-11 and Cockfosters at under-13, both sides taking the honours by beating Adelaide in the final. A superb, unbroken century partnership between Joe Norton and Asad Shah saw Enfield ease to victory in Saturday's derby at Winchmore Hill in Division 2 of the Middlesex County Cricket League. Winchmore Hill hosts Brettenham on Saturday, while Enfield go to the leaders, Indian Gymkhana.
Another 6 players have committed their immediate futures to Enfield Town by signing registration forms with the Ryman Premier Division club ahead of the new season. Last week saw the first batch of 7 players, including summer arrivals Tyler Hastings and James Hawes, put pen to paper when the club started their pre-season training programme. And the past 7 days have seen midfielder Neil Cousins become the third of their summer arrivals to sign up as he completed his move to town from Heybridge Swifts. Wide man Tyler Campbell, player-coach Bradley Quinton, left-back Joe Stevens, midfielder Nathan Livings and Michael Kalu, a member of Town's hugely successful under-21 side last season, are the others to have signed forms this week. More players are expected to sign up in the coming week, while Saturday sees Town facing their first pre-season friendly as they make the trip to Bedford with the kick-off at 3 p.m. Meanwhile, Friday saw the draws made for the early rounds of the FA competitions, and Town will host either Ware, Tower Hamlets or Felixstowe and Walton United in the first qualifying round of the FA Cup on September the 13th, before visiting Dereham Town or Hanwell Town in the first qualifying round of the FA Trophy on November the 1st.
Enfield and Haringey Athletic Club consolidated their place at the top of Division 1 of the United Kingdom Women's League by securing victory in Saturday's meeting at Liverpool. Already in pole position following a good start to the season, Enfield and Haringey overcame a strong challenge from Wigan and District Harriers to claim victory on the day by 18 points. However, the senior men's team at the club are in the relegation zone of the Premier Division of the British Athletics League after coming 7th in Saturday's meeting at Alliance Park.
And now back to the news with Katherin.
A schoolgirl from Enfield has been named among the winners of the Times and Independent series Young Reporters Scheme. Emma Woolridge took first place with her article Kathy's Carol, which tells the story of a woman who helps to spread Christmas cheer by carol singing in her community. The Year 10 student who attends St Martha's Senior School in Camlet Way, Hadley Wood, was voted the winner in the competition's event category for entries for pupils in Year 10 and 11. She said, "The Young Reporters Scheme has given me a great opportunity to explore different aspects of journalism. It has been interesting for me to see how I have developed my skills in order to write a new article each month and hit the deadlines. I've really enjoyed taking part." The Young Reporters Scheme, run by the Times and Independent series owner NewsQuest, has run for 6 years and takes place between September and April. All students have to write 8 articles over the 8 months, all to deadlines. Those that complete the articles receive a letter of recognition signed by the editor, and those that do all 8 without missing any deadlines are put forward to compete against other students in their category to win prizes. There are 2 categories, Years 10 and 11 and Years 12 and 13, and the winners were lucky enough to experience a day in the journalism department at Kingston University. Diana Jarvis, who has run the scheme since it started in 2008, said, "This is an exciting and rewarding opportunity for students to experience life as a journalist, working for a real-life news organisation. This year, almost 1,000 students took up the challenge, writing some interesting stories which were published on our online newspapers." To read Emma's winning article, visit www.enfieldindependent.co.uk.
Enfield Southgate MP David Burrows hosted a second cricket match in as many months for charity, raising money for the North London Hospice, based in Enfield and Barnet. The match saw a David Burrows 11 face off against a side from the cricket club. As well as the cricket match, there will be a barbecue, sports, activities for children and a raffle and auction for the charity. And Mr Burrows said, "I'm delighted to be hosting this match once again and hope that the local community turns out to support the good work that the North London Hospice does."
When fledgling company Tottenham Theatre was searching for a story that would capture the imaginations of people in the area, they didn't have to look any further than the incredible life of local hero Walter Tull. As we mark 100 years since the start of World War I, there could not be a more fitting time to tell the tale of the orphaned grandson of a slave who was brought up in London and went on to make history on the football and battlefields. He became the first mixed-race outfield footballer to play in the country's top division when he signed for Tottenham Hotspur for £10 from Clapton Football Club in 1909. And he broke the mould again after becoming the first mixed heritage person to be commissioned as an infantry officer in the British Army, sadly dying in action on March the 25th, 1918, aged just 29. Kentish town writer Paul Vasily captured his story in the play Tull, and this month it will be performed by young people at 4 local venues. The 10-strong cast has been brought together by Tottenham Theatre, which was co-founded by Linda Jessops after a chat with her friend Linda Brennan. "We realised there wasn't any live theatre in Tottenham," she says, "and we decided the only way to get started was to do something, and then we came across the Tull story, and it went from there. I saw an exhibition about him at Bruce Castle. Before that, I'd never heard of him. And then it didn't take much searching to find Phil's play, and it just seemed absolutely the perfect thing to do." The Tottenham resident adds, "He overcame huge adversity to become a really great footballer, and then a real leader." Because of the play's World War I connection, the duo were able to get a start-up grant of £10,000 from the Heritage Lottery Fund, and worked with educational sports and performing arts provider Let Me Play to find their cast of stars, who were aged 17 to 23. Linda says they've been busy rehearsing almost every day at Bruce Grove Youth Centre to prepare for the first performance at Bernie Grant Arts Centre next Friday. "Bernie Grant was a great supporter of Tull, so it feels like it's the right place to be doing it," says Linda. "It's all been quite intense, but it's very exciting, and the young people are just putting in so much work." The play will chronicle Walter's life, including the start of his sporting career at Clapton Football Club, where he was quickly talent-spotted and signed to Spurs in 1909, aged 21. He went on to make 10 first-team appearances for the club, scoring twice before he was dropped to the reserves, which may have been due to the racial abuse he received from opposing fans. Linda hopes the performances will bring Walter's story to more people. His gallantry in the war saw him recommended for a military cross, but he never received the honour, and playwright Phil Vasily and Spurs have both backed a campaign to have the medal awarded to him posthumously. A spokesman for Tottenham Hotspur says, "Walter Tull is a significant figure in the club's history. We've assisted in supporting a number of events concerning Walter Tull, including Tottenham Theatre's latest play based on his life." And you can get more details of the performances of this play at the website, which is tottenhamtheatre, all one word, .co.uk.
Drivers can have their car number plates secured with tamper-proof screws free of charge at locations across the borough this month. The Metropolitan Police are working with Enfield Borough Council to tackle car crime and have made 95 arrests since they joined forces last year. Will be offering to change drivers' number plate screws free of charge as part of the operation. The locations include Southbury Retail Park's Sainsbury's Crown Road on July 14th, Co-op Hertford Road opposite Ordnance Road on July 15th, and Ponders and Tesco Car Park from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. and Asda Car Park from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on July 17th.
Children from 10 primary schools learned to go green as part of a new food growing initiative. The 40 pupils gathered at Prince of Wales Primary School in Enfield Lock as part of a celebration called Grow Your Own. They helped to build a greenhouse from recycled bottles and collected eggs, planted herbs and learned to cook with natural ingredients. The event was part of an emerging plan to develop Enfield's market gardening industry, which aims to establish food growing projects in 25 schools over the next 2 years, eventually expanding to include all Enfield schools. At Prince of Wales Primary School, children grow produce, look after chickens, and regularly collect eggs for their cooking club. Jan Bless, head teacher of the Salisbury Road School, said, "This is truly a superb approach to teaching, and all schools can develop it, no matter how small the space. Gardening produces remarkably happy children and young people. Councillor Ifer Orhan, Enfield Borough Council's Cabinet Minister for Education, Children's Services and Protection, said, "The skills and knowledge that the children learn now will give them enthusiasm for growing food, fresh food and healthy living in the long term. Experiences that contribute to our market gardening plans."
Calling all performers, Edmonton's Got Talent is back. Do you think you can be the next best superstar? Do you have talent that deserves to be seen and is worthy of a big cash prize? If so, here is your chance. Edmonton Green will be hosting its hugely popular talent competition again this summer, with even more winners selected each week to win cash prizes. We want you. Whatever it is you do, we want to hear from you. Any talent, any age, get in touch and apply for a slot at one of our 5 competitions being held on Saturday, 26th of July, 2nd of August, 9th of August, 16th of August, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the concourse at Edmonton Green. Edmonton's Got Talent open stage nights are also returning to the North Mall at Edmonton Green from the 24th of July to the 14th of August, giving you the perfect opportunity to practice your performance in front of a live audience ahead of the big events on the Saturdays. So apply now by visiting our website, edmontonongreencentre.co.uk. That's edmontonongreencentre.co.uk.
Some of the poorest families could save up to £400 on their energy bills. The new deal between Enfield Borough Council and British Gas will see residents save an estimated 40% on energy costs by providing funding for more efficient energy measures to low-income and vulnerable households. 4 housing blocks in Exeter Road, Ponders End, and 2 on the Beaconsfield estate in Katherin Road, Enfield Lock, will benefit from energy efficiency measures such as external wall insulation, replacement windows and roof insulation as part of the agreement signed under the government's energy company obligation, ECHO. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Housing, Councillor Ahmed Oikner, said this is brilliant news for some of Enfield's poorest residents and shows the Council's commitment to improving the quality of life for everyone living in this borough. To have delivered millions of pounds of investment and reduced residents' energy bills is superb. In partnership with big business, we are reducing energy bills and making Enfield's homes warmer. This scheme will help lift many of our poorest households out of fuel poverty at a time when the cost of electricity and gas remains high. We hope this contract acts as a spur to further investment in improving the energy performance of Enfield's homes and creating further jobs for Enfield's residents. Steve Gappick of British Gas said, "Our work in Enfield is the latest example of how ECO is making huge strides in supporting communities across the country and making a real difference to the lives of residents in the area. This latest investment follows a pilot scheme that saw £3 million invested by British Gas to carry out a major energy efficiency programme to 101 flats in Scott House, Edmonton, last year."
Hundreds of school children got a taste of university life when they stepped on campus to pick up degrees for a range of activities. The pupils from dozens of Enfield schools attended the graduation ceremonies at Middlesex University's Hendon campus. Freestyle footballer Billy Wingrove presented the children with mortarboards for activities including baking, singing, tap dancing and martial arts. More than 400 pupils attended from schools including Lee Valley High, Prince of Wales, Edmonton County and Southgate. The graduation ceremonies are organised by Enfield Borough Council as part of an initiative to raise children's aspirations.
People at a care home celebrated songs from around the world during a special open day with members of their family. Staff at Nairn House Care Home in Forty Hall, Enfield, invited residents and their families to take part in National Care Home Open Day with a sing-along event. They were invited to choose their favourite songs, which were played by staff, and invited musicians in the sunshine on Friday, June the 20th. Organiser and music therapist at the home, Phil Evans, said, "It went really well. There was a great turnout and we played songs from a lot of countries. It was really nice for them to be able to join in an event like this with their families and come together through songs that they have known throughout their lives."
Now 3 recommendations from the arts and entertainment pages. First, theatre. Ronaldo. L'Ombre Festival Opera presents his bold, baroque Star Wars, which was Handel's first London triumph. The story is a fantasy involving wizardry, volcanoes, mermaids, spectacular theatrical events, and at its heart, the young hero Ronaldo setting out to rescue his princess from evil forces. The cast includes recent graduates from the London music colleges, can be found at Burney Grant Arts Centre, Town Hall Approach Road, Tottenham Green, Thursday, July the 17th at 7:30. For details, call 0208 365 5450. That's 0208 365 5450. Secondly, a film. Torquay's community cinema, Rust and Bone, an utterly absorbing love story. Rust and Bone is a tale of a miraculous friendship which evolves into an enthralling and moving romance, wonderfully acted by Marion Cotterfield and Matthias Schnornartz. The Dugdale Centre, Thomas Hardy House, London Road, Enfield, on Tuesday, July the 15th at 7:45. For details, call 0208 807 6680. That's 0208 807 6680. And finally, comedy. The Edinburgh Previews. Join some well-known comedians and be one of the first to catch some brand new ones before they perform at the Edinburgh Festival this year. Holly Walsh and Rich Wilson are among many to perform at the Arts House, Tottenham Lane, Crouch End, until July the 28th. For details, you can catch them on arthousecrouchend.co.uk.
Teenagers have been putting their patience to the test as they learn how to look after children. The 13 and 14-year-olds took part in the Enfield Young People project in a bid to build self-esteem and confidence by learning how to look after children at a local nursery. Councillor Rohini Simbodial, Enfield Borough Council's Cabinet Member for Youth and Public Health, presented the awards, praising the young people for their hard work. She said, at a local nursery, the young people volunteered to work with 3 and 4-year-olds, where they learned about child development and how to cope with the demands of young children. In classroom sessions, they learned about personal development and relationships, prepared their own individual presentations, and worked in groups to consider the problems and challenges of growing up. They have done so well. The 13-week course was set up in 2011 to help support the work of the Teenage Pregnancy Unit and help reduce the number of teenage pregnancies in Enfield.
Virgin Media has been ordered to pay more than £6,000 after being found guilty of endangering the public while repairing broadband cables. The company admitted to blocking the pavement while working at the junction of Silver Street and Baker Street on August 21st, forcing the public to walk along a busy road. Magistrates ordered the telecommunications firm to pay a £2,000 fine, £4,000 costs, and a £120 victim surcharge at Islington Magistrates Court on June 30th, following prosecution by Enfield Borough Council. The telephone, television and internet company accepted it had breached safety requirements and said action had since been taken to prevent similar situations from happening. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment and Community Safety, Councillor Chris Bond, said, "We appreciate that companies have to carry out routine maintenance work, and we try hard to make life as easy as possible for companies to reduce disruption for both them and residents while these works are being done. We won't tolerate companies endangering residents through ill-conceived or dangerous work sites, and we will prosecute whenever we think it is necessary."
A driver arrested on suspicion of causing death to a motorcyclist by dangerous driving has been bailed. The motorcyclist, believed to be in his early 30s, collided with a grey Mitsubishi pickup on the A406 Warwick Road, Bounds Green, on Thursday, July the 3rd. The motorcycle then collided with a white van. London ambulance services were called to the scene at 7:05 p.m, but the motorcyclist was pronounced dead at the scene at 7:35 p.m. The pickup driver was arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving and driving whilst under the influence of alcohol. He was taken into custody at a North London police station and has been bailed until September the 12th. Police continue to appeal for witnesses to the incident.
Well, we've reached the end of our programme for this week. Don't forget, your reader's representative, Diane de Jersey, is on 020-8805-6578 if you need any help with the talking newspaper. And please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the cassette into the packet, and return it to us as soon as possible so we can send out the next edition. And that will be with you in 1 week's time. Thanks for being with us. From me, Yvonne, Katherin, Ros, and Dave, goodbye.
Bye.